This task, which faces not only ourselves, but all the Western democracies, requires a government inspired by a new conception of society, with a dynamic policy in accord with the needs of a new situation. It could not be accomplished by any of the old parties, nor by a totalitarian party, whether fascist or communist. A conservatism rooted in the past and looking backwards makes no appeal to the majority today. Even a reformed and liberalized conservatism, which nevertheless bases itself on class inequality, on private ownership of the means of life, and on the supremacy of the profit motive, makes no appeal to a generation that remembers the suffering of the interwar years and has seen what a nation can accomplish in war when everything was subordinated to the common good. It was therefore a right instinct on the part of the people which put into power the Labour Party, inspired by the ideal of social justice for all and presenting a policy of a planned national economy and the use of the resources of the country for the good of all the people. They knew, too, how steadfastly the Labour Party rejected the errors of communism, and how deeply attached it was to the free and democratic tradition of this country. The chief complaint of the Conservative Party is that the Labour government is carrying out the policy which it placed before the electors. Mr. Churchill in the House of Commons the other day said that in the state you needed both an engine and a brake. In the uphill task of raising the standard of life of the people, the advocates of change have always had the brake put on against them, sometimes by the Liberals, but generally by the Conservatives. That is why progress is so slow and why reforms come so late. You must have noticed how many things are being done with general approval by the Labour government, which ought to have been done years ago. For instance, there's housing and town planning. The scandal of bad housing conditions could and should have been remedied years ago. Our cities grew and sprawled over the countryside at the sweet will of private profit. Little was done for years. The brake was always on. Yet now Conservatives are quite indignant because in 2.5 years the neglect of decades has not been remedied. The Town and Country Planning Bill, 50 or even 100 years too late, is now passed with general consent.